So don't feel like you have to take notes. All the note takers seem to already be here, so that's good. But you'll get the replay of this after if you want to share it with a colleague who maybe wasn't able to join or refer to anything. But do stick around with us to the end. We will have time for questions with myself, with Dmitry as well. We also have a couple other members of the Mind Studio team who'll be floating around in the chat answering questions. So if you have one that's super burning as we're going along, don't feel like you have to wait till the end either. You can just drop it in the chat, and Giorgio or Alex or someone else from our team will cover that for you. So welcome everybody. Let's officially introduce ourselves, and we can get into it momentarily. Again, I'm Dannielle, Director of Partnerships at Mind Studio. I'm based in Canada, just outside of Toronto. Been at Mind Studio for a year, and this is something I've been wanting to do since day one. AI agents for partnerships, biz dev, for my people. So I am so excited to have my people here today and get into it. Dmitry, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, hi folks. Good to see everybody here. So I'm CEO of Mind Studio, and one thing that I find myself often talking about is Dannielle with other people that I'm speaking with that either know her or have dealt with her or have tried to hire her and weren't able to do it. And she's an exceptional much more than biz dev and marketing and all those things that she wears here. So I'm excited that she has built these agents for herself and now is able to share it with others because her kung fu is obviously the right kung fu. This is my third venture-backed company as a founder. In between, I spent 4 years at Google. I was CTO of MySpace, and so I've worked with many talented people. Dannielle really stands out, and so I'm really excited that she's been able to package this up and share it with you guys. So anyway, I'm Dmitry. I'll be around this whole time. Happy to answer questions.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Dmitry. Okay, so if you want to follow along with what we're talking about today, you can do so really easily. You can just go to mindstudio.ai and there'll be a green banner right at the top that says download the Chrome extension. It's free to get started. And you can use everything actually that we're showing today here for free. And it's all plug and play. The things that I'm going to promise you out of this session is the agents are going to be simple. They're going to be plug and play, no setup required. I'm not going to ask you to go and have to configure something for a couple hours after this to get it to work for you. It'll just work from day one. So again, that's mindstudio.ai if you want to follow along with the session. I want to just tee up like how this all came to be before we dive all the way in. And a little bit about Mind Studio too. I think we have a lot of new folks here who maybe haven't heard of Mind Studio yet or haven't had a chance to play around with it. So a little bit of an overview there. Mind Studio is for professionals who want to dramatically improve their productivity and work smarter online. We bring context-aware AI agents to your browser, but actually also everywhere else. There's a lot of different ways that you can deploy these AI agents. You can customize them, build totally new ones from scratch. All the agents that I'm going to show today are built off of our platform, or just use them as is the way I'm going to be showing you today. Dmitry, anything you want to add there before I share a little bit about my context and how I put these together?
Nope, perfect. Keep going.
Cool. So Dmitry teed this up a little bit, but I'm a go-to-market person, formerly trained, quote unquote, in partnerships. But being at a high growth company, being at a startup, it means I wear so many different hats. All of partnerships for sure, strategic, tech, channel, education partners, affiliates, influencers, all those guys. But then there's also the marketing side of it, sales, customer success, anything go to market is going to be me and my team collaborating on together. And in past roles, and I've been really lucky to work on teams like Grammarly, Zapier, Shopify. My role is a lot more focused, a lot more narrow. I actually think I see a lot of folks from some of my previous roles here. So show yourself in the chat and say hi. When I was in those roles before, it was really narrow focus. I definitely had a lot more time to focus on pure partnerships, which means being really high touch and spending 30 minutes to an hour personalizing a pitch was doable. Spending hours, doing research to lead up to a really big customer call or a partner call, preparing my executives, that was fine. That was an expectation. Now wearing all these different hats is just not possible. I don't have the time to do all those things. It just won't happen. And I think whether you're at a startup or a larger company, I think a lot of people can resonate with this right now as the field of business development has gotten just evolved over time. Leaders are expecting more of us with less resources, less time, close more deals faster. So I'm hoping that these AI agents not only can help people who might be a bit stretched thin between multiple different go-to-market functions, but also those pure play partnership sales and biz dev folks who do have that narrow focus as well. So even if maybe you don't do any of that stuff, maybe you're coming here from an agency or you're a consultant, your clients definitely do business development work. So you can be thinking about these agents as it relates to them as well and how these might work for them, how you could bring these agents to their teams as well. So I'm going to start screen sharing here. And while I do that, you might also be thinking like, okay, like it's obvious that we need to bring AI into our jobs. You've probably already tried it already. You've maybe tried things like ChatGPT or Perplexity. That's cool. I've used those as well. And we always start simple. Even though we're a platform for building with AI, we typically start somewhere. We start with a ChatGPT, and that works. It doesn't always bring me the most high quality and consistent results. So having that customization, having that ability to be really flexible and multimodal has been really helpful. And that's why I've taken really how I came up with these agents is I looked at my ChatGPT chats and which were the things I was always asking for over and over again. And I said, let me productize these, let me get these into a templated way that I can work more efficiently. All right, so going to screen share here. All right. So again, if you want to follow along, you can just go to mindstudio.ai and click install the Chrome extension here. It's free. I have mine preloaded, ready to go. This is one of the really most popular ways we deploy our AI agents. Really simple and easy to use as well, but so many different ways to deploy agents, and maybe we'll get to some of that in the Q&A, so stay tuned. So I'm going to be showing off 5 different agents today. These are 5 of dozens that we have on our agent store. And when you log into mindstudio.ai, or even without logging in, you'll land on app.mindstudio.ai and see all the different agents here. Again, these are the 5 I'm going to focus on. We have a lot more that actually are good for biz dev, which I might weave in if we have the time. But these are the ones that I'm going to be focused on. And I'm going to start with the LinkedIn connection crafter. The flow of this demo is going to be like kind of the stages of the deal cycle. And I think a lot of us start with trying to broker those connections on LinkedIn. And if you've been on LinkedIn recently, you'll know that Duolingo is popping off right now for a lot of reasons related to AI. If you're on TikTok, you definitely know that this is happening. So I'm gonna focus in on, hey, like Duolingo's trying to be this AI first company right now, kind of getting some pushback. Maybe us as Mind Studio can help. So I'm on Luis, their CEO's LinkedIn page right now, and I want to reach out. And something that I do, and if you've tried to connect with me, maybe with a cold connection request, you'll know I don't accept cold connection requests without any text, without any reason to know why they're connecting with me. I have over 100 in here that are just kind of chilling there. I really do expect that warm outreach, and I practice what I preach too. I don't reach out cold to anyone. The last thing I want to do is have one of you reach out and say, hey, Dannielle, can you connect me with so-and-so? And I'm like, oh, I don't even know how we're connected. Never even talked to this person. I'm just a lot more intentional about how I build my network. And it takes time though. It takes time to build those really customized outreach messages based off of the person, based off your networking goal. So that's why I built this agent, this LinkedIn connection crafter. The other thing that I would do sometimes is I would write out a personalized connection, spend the time doing that. And then it's over the 300 character count limit of when you actually go and want to connect with someone, and then have to spend even more time trying to revise it. So what this agent does is it takes in mind your networking goal, which in this case is I want to pitch Mind Studio as a solution for their AI first strategy at Duolingo. And right now, this is built in a way like this actually asks me, hey, what's your networking goal? Something that you could do with a very little customization is actually just like put that hard coded into this agent so that you don't even need to do that step. You can skip that step entirely. But right now, this is easy enough to put in and make really easy and plug and play for everybody. So it's come up with a couple different things for me. It's done 3 different potential outreach emails. All of them are customized, talking about Duolingo's AI-driven approach to education, talking a little bit about Mind Studio, and for the sake of science, let's just go ahead and throw that in there. And we can see it's well within the 300 character count limit. I'm going to send that off. Maybe we'll get a new connection by the end of this call. That would be fun. The other thing that I can do here, this has gone to work in seconds, right? Before I could even open up the link to want to connect with him, it's already run off. Maybe the outreach would be better actually from Dmitry. Like maybe I want Dmitry to reach out to Luis. What I can do is just share this. I can share it with just someone directly with the link. I can actually share it publicly, and it'll get distributed even further. And I can say, hey, Dmitry, like we should be talking to Duolingo right now. AI is top of mind for them. Here's the LinkedIn profile I want you to reach out to. Here's some outreach options. You can tweak them if you want. But away you go. So that just made my life a lot easier and helped my team also build connections and network. So I'm going to pause there. I want to show a couple more of these in action, but while I do that, Dmitry, anything you want to add so far?
Nope, I think are folks understanding this? Does this make sense? See, thumbs up. Okay, great. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, awesome. And we'll do maybe one more of these while we're working here. This is their CTO here. Maybe I want something a bit more technical for this one. I say, okay, I want to bring Mind Studio, Mind Studio to Duolingo. It's AI first strategy. Be more technical. It's the CTO here. So giving it a little bit more instruction, let's see if we get something a little bit more technical here. And it's worked really fast. Talks a little bit about more of the platforms, acknowledges that they're the CTO, and talks a little bit about the technical vision. And again, for the sake of science, let's go ahead and put that in there. Again, well below the character count limit. This is where I'd probably edit it a bit, but we're moving quickly here. So you can copy it out, go right into there, edit it, take it to a doc, whatever you need to do to make it yours. Also, you can make it yours from the edited versions here, but you can also make it yours in the Mind Studio backend too. This one's a pretty simple agent where, we're early on in the session here, but I think it's okay to actually dive right in and show you folks what this is looking like. So let me just make a quick copy here and go into the Mind Studio IDE. Let's make let me go into mindstudio.ai. And here's how you would toggle actually to, this is actually good for me to show how you'd actually start to customize this. So all of our agents for BD are right in here. And this is the LinkedIn connection one that we're looking at. I want to make a copy, and then that'll take me right into the Mind Studio development environment. You can see that we're in the automation builder here. So all the different steps of this automation is here. We won't go all the way into some of the different features, but you can see here that this is the prompt that the AI agent is using to actually develop the outreach text. So you can easily say, like, there's a bit of context here, but it's super generic because we need this to work for everybody. You can easily just go into this prompt and in plain language be like, I'm the director of partnerships at Mind Studio. Here's some of the networking goals. Here's a little bit about my partner program. I could copy and paste an entire one pager into here and give this even more context to work off of so that it's even more personalized to you and your goals and what you're trying to do when you're connecting with others. Okay, so that's the first agent. I know folks do a lot of networking on LinkedIn, but We also are doing a lot of cold outreach on email. We're probably doing both. We're probably trying to hit people and reach people on LinkedIn, email, other social media platforms as well. So I'm going to show you another agent here called Rewrite Pitch. And you're probably thinking like, okay, like I can just copy and paste this into ChatGPT and it'll polish it up. This pitch here is beyond polishing, right? You can tell I didn't work really hard on this. This is the gist of what I'm trying to get in front of the CEO with. Heard you're an AI first company, but kind of flopping with your audience right now. Work with us, we'll help you get back on track. What this is going to do is it's not just polishing what I have here, but it's actually going and running research on, okay, you've said Duolingo CEO. Who actually is this? Let's not address them that way. Let's do a bit of research and pull social proof in, maybe from other customers that we've worked on with that are similar to Duolingo, maybe things from the news that they're talking about that's important to them, maybe products they've just released that Mind Studio could really help accelerate them with. It's doing all this research in the back end to take this pitch from like a 0, like should never send this out, to something that's actually really high quality, and something that you could work with. So this takes, because it's doing all this work, this one does take a little bit of time to work. And I'll just want to describe a couple more use cases while it's working. Something I used to do a lot of actually at Zapier is work like this when it comes to pitches in a Google Doc. And this is a one-to-one pitch, but I would do one-to-many pitches as well. So something you could do is like take a really generic pitch of like, okay, here's the intro, here's the call to action, and then just sub in the name of each partner you're trying to reach out to, each potential client or lead you're trying to reach out to, and then instead of you having to customize each one, which takes a long time, or instead of you just having to send out the generic, which probably isn't going to land super well, you have a custom pitch for each person that you're reaching out to. So here's the new pitch that I got here. So I'm going to just copy it and put it in here. It's still saying Duolingo CEO. I've ran this a couple times before the session, and each result is going to be a little different. So I actually would want to maybe run it one more time, and it oftentimes would pull Luis's name in here, and it would say, hey, this is the edit that I made. But in this case, it's really gone and added a lot more to it. This is not going to take me much time to just go, okay, Luis, okay, perfect. So it's shifted the negative, inaccurate premise to acknowledging Duolingo's strong AI success. So maybe a bit of a better positioning of this pitch here. It's referenced specific AI initiatives. So Duolingo Max, Birdbrain AI. I didn't even know what some of that stuff was before going into this pitch. And now I'm showing how well researched and how well I know their business. Connected Mind Studio's value directly to their stated goal of accelerating course development. So it's been really specific and pulled out a goal that they have and connected it back to how it can help with that. And then it also has done research on, and I haven't, like, this agent is totally generic, off the shelf, plug and play. It doesn't know anything about I haven't told it anything about Mind Studio. It's actually done research and pulled client examples that we can refer to of, hey, here are some of the businesses we've helped. We could do something similar for you. So this is, again, from here, I can edit it further, maybe add a little bit more personal connections, maybe add like a Calendly link or something else to further bolster this pitch. Or I could even just go into the back end here and say, hey, here's my Calendly. Make sure to include it in every single pitch that you're coming up with at the end. You can really instruct this agent with a little bit of editing and customization to work even better for you. Dmitry, anything you want to add so far as we're going through here? I have a couple more to show.
I think you're doing great. Again, if folks have questions, we could take some questions now. I know Giorgio's been answering questions in chat here.
Yeah,
By the
they
way,
just
I
haven't put
think
me yet.
folks, please mute yourselves.
Yeah, Jan Brown, we're getting some feedback from your audio.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is this making sense to you guys? Are there any questions? I see a thumbs up. Okay, it looks like, yeah, keep going. You're doing great.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Let's keep going then. So right now we're still at the outreach phase. We haven't even made contact yet. And let's be real, like Luis, CEO of Duolingo, huge company. they probably have every single rep in his email right now, blowing it up, trying to get his attention. So how do I stand out in all of this? Something that I've developed is a launch teaser AI agent. So this is something that with just very little information, just the hyperlink of, and I'm going to just go over here. This is I'm on Duolingo's site right now. I'm looking at their press releases, looking at past partnerships they've done, kind of getting jealous. And I actually want to make them jealous. I want them to really want to covet a partnership with Mind Studio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in our company domain here. And again, this could easily be hard coded with a little bit of customization on your end. But right now we're giving these to everybody. We're making these available to everyone. So all you need to do is add in your URL. It already knows the URL that you're at. So it's going to take the two of those and it's going to put together a really exciting partnership launch teaser. And you're thinking, Dannielle, we're still at cold outreach. What do we need a partnership launch summary, mock press release for at this point? Like, we're so far away. If you know me and if you've heard me speak before, you know that one of my partnership business development secret sauces is celebrating the most mundane and small wins with our partners, because makes people feel great, makes people feel like they just walked away with a huge win, creates a touch point with the partner, and makes them walk away feeling like, okay, every time I work with Dannielle, every time I work with Mind Studio, I'm walking back with a win for my team. And that's exactly how I want them to feel. So right now, because again, I'm stretched thin across so many different partner initiatives, I am not going to be able to do that high touch with every single partner, especially when I'm reaching out and trying to give them a win right at the point of reach out. This agent helps me do that. So it's, again, put together a launch summary with very little detail, just the two companies' names essentially and their websites. It's put together a launch summary, a tweet style headline. Imagine in the subject line of like a cold outreach email, like using something like this as the subject line. That would be super eye catching in your inbox. A mock press release, so I can say, hey, like, so what I'm going to do is exactly this. I'm going to share this as this is a already public facing asset. I'm going to go back to my demo pitch and be like, this could be us if we started working together. This could be us, let's say 3 months from now, if we started working together today, and then drop that in. I could add it, I could download it as a PDF if I wanted to instead, and actually just attach it of like, hey, this is a little taste of what it would look like to work together. So this is one way that I'm completely automating something that I would have never, like, it's not just, okay, there's things that I have to do, right? Cold outreach, we all have to do it. We all have to get in touch and get in front of the right people. That the agents make those processes so much easier, and we're going to do them anyway. This is something that I probably would never had the chance to do, never had the time to do. And with my AI agent, I'm able to do this really high touch thing with just seconds of time, and really stand out in cold outreach, really stand out when re-engaging a partner as well. Let's say, like, you might have had some really great first conversations with partners and it kind of dwindled out. Imagine dropping something like this in their inbox to be like, hey, like, been a while since we've chatted. Really excited about still doing something. Like, I had some ideas about how this could look like. And dropping them something like this to re-inspire them and help them get re-engaged. And again, this could be really easily customized as well in Mind Studio on the back end. Right now, this agent doesn't know anything about our partner program, what types of partners we're looking for, what we offer them. I could put all of that in there, right? I could just copy and paste our partner program tiers and our perks that we offer and all the different things that we offer of value. I could train it on how many customers we have, how many, all the value and that we offer to potential partners, so that it's even more juicy and has even more to work with when it's coming up with these launch templates. So now that you've put together a killer pitch, right? You've reached out on LinkedIn, you've connected with them with the LinkedIn connection crafter. You've also like done a new thread on email, and you've rewritten the pitch using social proof and actual real examples of things that they care about and what they're working on. You've maybe you actually need to do some email hunting as well. That's another agent that we have. This is also available on My Studio in our suite of agents on app.mystudio.ai. So maybe you actually needed to pull the email. You've done that. You've crafted the launch teaser and added that into your outreach. With all this being done, you've definitely at least scored an intro meeting at this point. So let's say, okay, Luis gets back to me. He accepts my connection. We go and set a meeting up a month from now. At that point, I forget why I've even reached out. Maybe I'm in back-to-backs all day long. Maybe I just, didn't have enough time to research things fully as I'm in back-to-backs or just busy with other projects. So what I have for that is a cheat sheet generator. So what this is going to do is, again, it's going to look at, hey, what website are you on right now? And this is like the first place I would go when I'm in that position of meeting with a partner and maybe I haven't done research in a while or need a refresher. Is I'm going to go to their website and just start poking around. I'm probably going to look at their pricing. I want to look at like some metrics. Okay, how many customers do they have? Like what are their products that they're offering? So this cheat sheet generator works along with me. What this is doing, it's pulling all the things that you as a partnerships person, as a biz dev person, salesperson, you need context going into this call with. It's doing a ton of research. So this one does take some time. So we're going to do a little bit of like cooking show style of like, we put the thing in the oven and we take it right out. And I'm going to show you what this produces here. This is a one pager here with a snapshot overview of the company, their key strengths. So why you guys might want to actually really prioritize partnering together, their key customers, competitors, and a huge long list of references that you can poke into and learn more from. So we have their industry here, when they're founded, so you can get a sense of, is this like, what stage of company am I meeting with? Their CEO, in this case, I'm meeting with a CEO, so I already know who that is. But in the case that you're meeting with maybe another partner manager or lead, someone at the department level, company size, so you get a sense of their scale, maybe how many seats they might want if you're selling into them. Their headquarters. So I can be like, hey, like this person's based, maybe this person's not based in Pittsburgh. I can ask, hey, do you ever go to the Pittsburgh HQ? I have something to talk about in a small talk. And all this gets generated while you're small talking with the person. Like you don't need to do any additional prep work. You can literally jump on the call and run this agent to work while you're in the call. I've have done that before, speaking from experience. Their latest financing, how many customers they have, recent activity, go to market, see like, okay, can we help them with this? Is this, do we have a similar go to market strategy? Are we actually going to be able to co-sell together? Pricing model, ICP, again, key strengths. This is really great for me as an individual prepping for calls, but a couple other things that it's also really good for. One, if maybe I'm inviting product or engineering to this call, or solutions engineer, someone else who, is not in partnership. We as partnerships, we pride ourselves on doing a lot of research and having a really good pulse on our partners, our customers, the industry more broadly, but not everybody is mandated with doing that on your team. And we work so cross-functionally. So what I can do here is just copy the link and say, hey, everybody, we're meeting with Duolingo in a couple hours. Here's the briefing on who they are as a company. Here's some of their key customers that we can speak to. Maybe we have some mutual customers, and away I go. Maybe I'm meeting solo, but I had a really great call, and I want to share about like post a CRM update or share on Slack about how the call went and the significance of the potential person I'm meeting with, the company I'm meeting with. I can share this as, hey, like I just met with this really interesting company. Maybe it's not a Duolingo, something that is a really ubiquitous brand. Maybe it's a company someone's never heard of. They can get the download on who they are, what they do, and why they matter. So super easy to share these assets that are created from the AI agents. Couple other things that I'll just point out quickly. This is a really great as like a snapshot. We also have something called Deep Researcher. This produces some really high quality assets. And I'll just click into one quickly here. Really robust research. So you could add something like, hey, like put in a prompt of, hey, Duolingo just released an AI first strategy and announced this publicly. What are going to be the impacts of this on their user base? Is it going to isolate their users? How is that going to change? Are they still going to, is it going to propel them forward? Are they going to be able to do even more with less? And are they going to be even more attractive of a target? These types of questions that you might be asking yourself going into a partnership call, you can run the Mind Studio Deep Researcher to get a super robust report on all of that and more, with visuals, with even potentially you can even have a podcast included. This one doesn't. Maybe I'll try to find one that does after. But really robust report with, if I scroll all the way down, tons of, see, it's super hefty. So it takes a while for us to scroll all the way down here with all the sources here that, again, shows that you're well cited. This could easily be like, if you do any type of white papers or gated materials ebooks, you could very easily use Deep Researcher to actually produce a lot of that too and put it behind, like use it as a lead magnet for new partners or new leads as well. I'm going to pause there quickly on the topic of research. Dmitry, anything you want to add so far on deep research or any of our capabilities here?
Yeah, so I think I want to point out the obvious to folks that like I can see your faces. We're all old enough to remember the world before this craziness. This like weird new capabilities that we have that allow us to scale things that used to be unscalable, right? If you had, you know, uh, long attention spans and hundreds of hours to dedicate, you could go and do research about anything, right? And people get PhDs doing that. But ain't nobody got time for that, as the kids say. And so, but now we can type in a simple sort of query, a prompt, push a button, and have the machines go out and do all of this hard work. Again, that would have taken like real mental effort and tremendous amount of time. That's now been condensed into, I see Gord saying exactly, time is money. And so like all of this now is available to us. And if you can figure out how to take advantage of that, you've got an insane competitive advantage. And you're at the very beginnings here. We all are, and so that's great. And so now it's up to you to play around with these tools, in your own workflow and figure out how to leverage them. You can use the tools that Dannielle has built. Again, I said earlier, I kind of use this term of like her kung fu is awesome, meaning she's got an awesome method. It's extraordinarily efficient. Like I'm always so impressed just by her ability to get things done. So you could use her method, or you could take her method and modify it. Again, one of the powerful things about Mind Studio is all of these agents that Dannielle has built. By the way, Dannielle is not a developer at all. She doesn't write any code. She learned to use Mind Studio. Like she'd describe herself as being non-technical. Although in today's world, that doesn't make any sense because it's not about being technical. It's about being able, knowing how to use these tools and get them to do what you want them to do. I wouldn't call that technical. It's certainly not writing code. And so Danielle's been able to build these things, but the point is that you guys can, one, build your own things completely from scratch. It's really straightforward. All of you can learn to do it. You can learn to do it in in an afternoon. If you dedicate an afternoon, watch some of our free YouTube tutorials, you'll be like Dannielle. You'll be able to build your own tools. And the other thing, of course, you can do is you can take the tools that she's built and then make a copy of them. So you don't have to start from scratch and then customize them. And that's like even much faster and easier. And so this ability to build one's own custom tools to automate a bunch of the things that today you do manually, or even more importantly, the things that you don't have time to do. You wish you would be able to do them, but you don't. because it takes too much time, it takes too much effort, and you don't have the time. Well, now you can build a tool that lets you do that. And again, sort of the implications of that are quite profound. And so I'm hoping that you're seeing some of these dimensions in some of the stuff that that Dannielle is showing off here. And by the way, again, if any of this stuff fascinates you, we've done a bunch of other, we call them master classes, again, that are available completely free of charge on our YouTube channel. You can go back and you can watch those and you can learn how to use the product and you can see other tools that Dannielle has built before. So it's the second suite of tools that that she has built on her own, right, with Giorgio's help too. Yeah, anyway, I encourage you, if you want to nerd out on this, to go and do that. You can do this. That's the message. You can do this. Nothing here prevents any of you from being able to do the same thing that Dannielle does and that all of us do now. Okay. Anyway, that's what I've got to add.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Dmitry. And I definitely encourage you checking out one of our Dmitry's and I previous session on another suite of agents for content marketing. I'm not a content marketer. I built a suite of agents for content marketing kind of because I'm not a content marketer. I was doing this stuff and had to do this stuff, and it wasn't coming naturally to me the way this type of partnerships works come naturally to me, even though I'm saving so much time with the agents that I'm showing you today. Because it's my craft, I would maybe procrastinate actually building the agents that would do it until it came to a point where I couldn't anymore, and just was doing so many things, juggling so many different things that I had to do them. But those content marketing ones really were built out of necessity. So definitely recommend you checking out that last session. Also, I want to do more sessions like these. I have a lot of friends in the room right now who I'd love to like pull onto the stage and let you guys show off some of your agents for partnerships and how you're using AI. So would love to do more sessions like this. And if that's of interest, let us know in the chat, and we can get something on the books soon. As Dmitry was chatting, I just wanted to also show you our research people agent. This one works really similarly to Deep Researcher, and I'll just show you a type of report it's developed. This one's on Sam Altman. You can imagine, if I was going into a call with anybody, it doesn't have to be a public figure. You could have run the agent on them and just get such a rich level of information about them. It's probably will be a little creepy. Maybe don't give everything away when you chat with them for the first time. But imagine having that level of context on their even just pulling all their socials and public statements and things that they care about. You'll have a much better sense going into a call with them of what they're going to care about and what might resonate with them. All right. So where are we so far? We have done a lot of things. We've reached out on LinkedIn. We've made a killer pitch with our rewrite pitch, add social proof to it and polished it all the way up. We've dropped a launch teaser into that pitch, and then we've had that first call. We've generated a cheat sheet to better research and better be informed about the company. We've shared that with our stakeholders who are going to be joined in. Now we're at the point of like, okay, we actually have a deal to do here. We have terms in front of us, or maybe we're crafting a term sheet. We have maybe we got a standard MSA in the inbox that is 30 pages long that you are dreading diving into any type of, and this works great. Like we do this all day long in biz dev, but contracts are such a big part of anybody's role. We work with a lot of marketing partners and have to pen deals with them, with maybe a content creator or influencer. Like if you're signing up a new getting a new vendor and they have terms of service that you want context into. Really, this is an all-purpose contract analyzer. What it's going to do, and I'm going to go at this point, you're probably going to be working with maybe some sort of custom paper, but a lot of times, and in my past roles, I did this a lot at Grammarly. We were just starting up our tech partnerships program. We were going dev style, just building into using their public API, using their standard papers. So what I would do is for each partner that we wanted to build into, Grammarly was a really large company. It was a very risk averse company. I would go into all their terms of service and have to one, like I would, this is what I'd probably do, right? I'd start like kind of like, okay, what's the indemnification stuff? Like, what are the key terms that I'm like, liability? I'd start to like look for some of the things that I know are going to make my team nervous or make me nervous, and try to pull out some of those key terms, put it into a document or table, try to synthesize it back to the team on what are the key risks here? What are we actually agreeing to? What are we signing up for? Couple things with that would take me hours, right? Like this is pretty long to actually go and read all this like to try to kind of poke around and try to get an understanding. Really long just to read through it, even longer to try to make sense of it. I'm not a lawyer, but that said, it's a non-negotiable. I was taught really on in my career, like, don't just drop an agreement on legal's desk, right? Like, synthesize it, give them a context on what it is, help them understand what actually is going on with that agreement before you drop it to them so that they can be really efficient with their time and you can build good partnership with your legal department. That is super important. You don't want to make enemies with your legal department. So I'm just going to show this. I'm going to show again, put the, I'm going to show this on another site here, the Duolingo site. As I was preparing for this demo, they have a little bit of stuff going on with scrapers in the back end. So sometimes you might find that if you're using these agents and you're using it on a site that can't be scraped, you might find that you might get some errors or it might load out and time out. So that can happen from time to time. So I'm going to call back to one of my previous roles at Shopify. I would spend a lot of time in the partner program agreement. So I'm going to run it on there too. And in case we are getting some timeouts here, sometimes we are the interface layer as Mind Studio. So we connect into platforms like OpenAI, and all the other LLM vendors. So if there's any type of outage or slowness on their end, we might experience some of that with the agents too. Good news is if there's a vendor that you find is always having outages, you can just go into Mind Studio, change the model really easily that's powering the agent. And I'll actually show you that in a second here. So we got the one working for Shopify here. I also have the one for Duolingo in my chat, but I'll show you what this is looking like here. So what this has done is it's literally gone and done everything I would have done myself. It's pulled out all the most important terms: termination, unilateral amendment, indemnification, limitation of liability, and it's done a stack ranking of risk. It's pulled the actual exact text so that I can go back and say, okay, well, where is it talking about this? And I can copy paste and say, okay, here's where it was in 4.1. So I can read the thing at length because we can't skip that part either. We can use AI agents to augment a lot of this work, but this is definitely not a replacement for professional legal advice and actually going into the agreement and getting into it. But this is a really great for me to get a snapshot of where do I need to spend my time? What terms are really going to throw us off here? Or, hey, I can even agree to this agreement no matter how far we get along with it. Let me just move on to a different partnership or a different customer or just different opportunity if we're so far off from where we are. Or maybe I need to start on our paper instead. So we get all the different clauses here listed out. We get the extracted text from the agreement. We get the risk level and we can order it here. We get the explanation of, okay, because you can read this and still, you can read it 5 times and maybe still not understand what it means with some of the legalese. So it's gone and explained it for you. And then it's suggested some next steps, right? Like we at My Studio, we're a small and nimble team. I don't have in-house counsel. So if I'm going to be asking legal for every single thing I need to do, that's going to rack up our billable hours. I don't want them to start with 0 either. I'd like to say, hey, would it make sense for us to negotiate a minimum notice period? And then they can give me a yes, no answer versus using their cognitive energy and therefore their time and therefore billing me to come up with a suggestion or our alternative language here for me. So you can see all the different next steps here. This has gone through the contract with you in mind of saying, hey, here are the things that you need to look out for in terms of red flags. Here are the things that you should potentially red line or do differently. And at the top here, it's linked to where that is. So let's say I'm sending this to my legal department next. They know where I've even pulled this thing from. They have context on what this thing is. And then the highest risk elements are summarized at the top here. So if they even don't get much further than this, maybe they just start here and see some of the most important or glaring issues. They can see that right at the top. So this to me is game changing. I again would spend hours on this. Not the funnest part of my job, a necessary part of the job, but not the most fun part is diving into 30-page agreements and documents and trying to pull out the red flags. Worried that I'm missing something. Worried that it's going to be my neck on the line if we agree to something that we didn't want to agree to, or that we committed to do something that we didn't commit to. So this helps me with that so much. And I am going to show you folks this one on the back end too. And looks like here we go. It worked for the Duolingo one as well. Before I show the back end, I'll just show you this one to close out the loop there. And we see here again, it's gone and rank ordered all the different clauses by risk and suggested next steps for each one, that is especially the higher risk clauses here. Okay, so really quickly on the back end of this one, because this one is actually, even though it does a lot, it's actually quite simple. So we are going to just want to go back to the start here. All right. So we go to our contract clause generator, and I'm actually going to go, what we want to do is make a copy, but we can resize this window. I'm just going to go straight into the MindStudio interface again, show folks how to do that, and make a copy from within MindStudio, just so that it's easier. All right, so again, this drops us right into the MindStudio environment, the build environment. And this is again, really simple agent here, just a couple steps. Most of the steps is actually just making it look pretty. You don't even need to do that, right? Like the most important step is the actual analysis, and it's doing that here. So what you could do in this prompt is a couple things. You could say, hey, these are the things that we are never going to agree to, right? We're never going to agree to this type of indemnification clause or this type of limitation of liability clause. So you could have that be really explicit in analysis of like, hey, this is over the limit that you typically agree to. Like, be mindful of that, so that it's very personalized to you and your legal team and your standards. What you could also do is play around with the model, right? Right now we have it set for O4 mini, and we have the reasoning effort set to medium. And there's a little bit of explanation here of like, low is, minimum reasoning effort, but will be more fast. You could set it to high and get a really robust analysis, really strong analysis. Right now we've set it to medium. This is a free agent that we've made available to everybody. So we set it to medium just to kind of strike that balance between quality and efficiency. But you can very easily set this to high as well, get even more quality results, and use a custom version that is supercharged when it comes to reasoning effort. Let's say you don't like this model, you can go and pick a new one entirely. Maybe you have one in mind that's better for reasoning. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive though. You can set that up. Maybe you actually just want a quick and dirty summary. Your legal team is going to make you go through the document anyway, but you just want a quick and dirty summary. Maybe you can set it to be a really cheap and efficient model. And we also have some tools built internally that can actually help you test different models against each other. This is our profiler. I can pick a couple different models here and have these guys run against each other. And I'll just say, hey, and see what it comes back with. And this is giving me an error here. So let's maybe pick a different model. Something going on with that one. Dmitry, anything you want to add here while I'm showing off the profiler?
Sorry, you guys might see me stretching here for you. No, again, I think I see Michael's got his hand raised, so maybe we can answer Michael's question.
Well, that's
Michael.
perfect, actually. I think good segue, because that's all the agents I wanted to show. I hope folks left feeling like these are things you could use in your day-to-day. Again, if you want to grab them, just app.mindstudio.ai. Scroll down to the business development and partnerships one. All of them are here. You can pin them to your Chrome extension and use them wherever you're working throughout your day. Really excited to get feedback. I would love to see what these agents develop for you. So I'll kill the screen share for a second here, and then we can move into some questions.
Yeah, Dmitry, I inadvertently raised my hand. I have 1,000 questions, but they're not appropriate for this forum.
Okay. Feel free and
Hey,
reach out directly, Michael.
I
LinkedIn,
will.
yeah, that.
how
Perfect.
mysterious. Anyone else have questions?
I see Tim raising his hand. Tim Brown.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't find the interface to raise my hand with the lovely little icon.
That's
But
okay. Me neither. I can never find it. It's in the React thing, I think. Yep. There you go.
okay,
So,
great.
so go ahead, Tim.
I'm Barrie, Ontario, not too far from Dannielle, I suspect, wherever she is. So I just wanted to say I came into the seminar because I like Mind Studio. I think it's a great product, and my company is using it for some tools that we're building and whatnot. So thank you very much. But one question I have for you guys about your terms and conditions and your legal documentation was when I build something in Mind Studio, it may not necessarily be available publicly to other people. Is one of the options that you guys have in your settings. But is that what I'm building available to Mind Studio the business? Because one of the things I kind of feel like with copyright protection, you can't copyright workflow, but you can copyright code, and there's a lot of problems with creating AI products. And I'm just curious because I think over a year ago was when I was first playing with Mind Studio, and one week I was playing with your tools and loving them, and then the next week I kind of built my own tool thing, and then the next week I went back again to check out your tools, and it seemed like your tool is an exact copy of the tool that I had built. So I'm just curious about like how do we protect ourselves if we're building something with Mind Studio so that if it's a business model kind of related thing and it's also related to workflow and all those things that can create a great product with AI, how do we protect ourselves from you guys, I guess?
You don't have to. So whatever you would have noticed would have been a complete coincidence. So
Okay.
we have no, meaning, obviously we operate a platform, and that platform maintains state of what agents you own and how they're made and all of that. But we never access any of that information. We never make copies of it. You own it completely. It's 100% owned by you.
Is that all in the terms and conditions and legal agreement stuff when we sign up? And is that all stated out there?
I Yes, that's certainly the intention. I believe so. If you've noticed something that is questionable, please bring it up. But
Yeah,
we
no,
know.
I'm not accusing here. I'm just curious for people who are thinking about this
Yeah, hopefully
problem.
it's clear that you own all of this IP. We claim no rights whatsoever to
Okay.
any of your workflows, any of your prompts. We don't
Yeah.
make copies of any of it. We don't look at it. It's
Okay.
all yours.
Thank you.
And
That's what I
yeah.
wanted to know.
And just to finish that, thank you for the question, Tim. Some people will go beyond that and they're like, yeah, but what about like these models that we're using, these models that we're calling? Aren't they like training on the stuff we send back and forth? And the answer to that is no, they are not. They explicitly state in their terms of service that they do not train on any data that's sent to them the way we integrate with them via their APIs. There's
Well,
only
so
two. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to ask you then. So if I wanted to use one of these LLMs to write my documentation for my code project, can I comfortably share my code and tell them, "Hey, look at this code, write my documentation for it from me," and know that whatever, whether it's OpenAI or Google or whatnot, doesn't have access to that code and my product? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
so when you're using Mind Studio and we're communicating with models through Mind Studio, we integrate with them with these agreements, these API agreements, and they have special terms of service and privacy policies for these API integrations. In those API integration terms of service, they explicitly state that they will not train at all on any of your data. Okay. When you use their services directly, if you go to like ChatGPT and start typing, they've got different terms of service. I haven't gone deeply into where they are now, so you may want to read them. But certainly when you go through Mind Studio, that is a non-issue. There's only two exceptions that I want to tell you guys about. Meaning we support many model providers. OpenAI is one, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Mistral, a bunch. Cohere and DeepSeek are two providers that we support, but their terms of service don't explicitly state that they don't train on your stuff. So just be aware, if you really care about that, DeepSeek and Cohere, for now you may want to stay away from them. But everybody else, you're completely safe to use. Mhm.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Abdul
I
Matan,
see
hi.
Abdullah.
Hey, Danielle. It's amazing what you're doing. Dmitry, nice to be on this call again and see you doing all the amazing work that you're doing. This is great. I think one of my key questions, me and my team are building some stuff on Mind Studio. And one thing that we're wondering is, I'd love for how can so let's say I create this agent, right? And then to my broader team, I would like to share it. Like, let's say it's an internal one in this scenario, right?
Mhm.
What does that look like, right? If you could show that a little bit. And then I would love to know, I know how to share a link to the agent, but it's also like, how can we build it within a broader app or database or internal server? Like, how do we embed it into something,
Yeah.
onto my website, onto whatever?
So a couple of questions there. One is what Dannielle is showing, right? Where you've got a workspace on the left there, and into your workspace, you can manage your workspace, and you can invite team members to your workspace, and then give them different rights, as you can see here. And so if you've got a team of people that you want to work with and give access to, that's restricted, not public, it's just these named team members, that's how you do it. As you configure your workspace, you invite people into it and give them various granular rights in your workspace. And so that's sort of question one. So hopefully that makes sense. The second one is, how do you embed things? We've got actually a couple of videos on our YouTube channel where you can see specifically how you do it. But basically, thank you, Dannielle, when you go there, we have an API section down below and these signed URLs, which is specifically for embed sections. So there's multiple ways to take your Mind Studio agent and embed it either publicly in a website or privately behind basically a firewall, internally, or behind the paywall, for example. Actually, just recently published a video a couple of days ago of how easy it is to take a Mind Studio agent and embed it in, I used Ghost, which is like a blogging platform, but you can embed it again behind paywalls with Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, like all those things. So multiple ways to do it. We've got tutorials on how it's done. We also have documentation. If you go to help.mindstudio.ai, it's there. If you have any trouble, ping us directly. We'll see if we can unblock you. But really straightforward to do.
Thanks, Abdul Matan. Good to see you. Abdul Matan and I work together at Shopify, and we've been connected ever since. So it's so nice to be able to jam with you on this stuff.
Amazing.
Cool. Devin, you have a question?
Yes. This is a fantastic, super excited about the whole Mind Studio thing. I'm actually working on building a C-suite for my mom's business. And yesterday I was building it out and I was having a few issues with the data sources. Like it said, it needed a PNG file. And I was trying to upload an Excel, and I was just curious, for building a CEO that's capable of like analyzing documents, making spreadsheets, what's the best way to put data sources in? Like, is it links, or should I put it in the data sources that are preloaded into the CEO agent, or like what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of things there. Again, we've got tutorials on this. I recently taught a masterclass on this, so maybe we'll find that here in a second and send it to you, and you can see how it's done. There's a number of ways of doing it. Now, we have something called data sources. That's a specific type of data source, which is called vectorized data sources. So that's one way to do it, although that's probably not what you're looking for. You can also keep as your data source, let's say a Google document, and have your agent reference that at runtime. You can create data sources that live on the web. So it could be your website that's a source of truth, that's a data source, and you can use that. You can sort of hard code them when you're building the agents. There's a number of ways of adding data, your own private data, to your agent, and then getting your agent to use that data as its source of truth in order to then be able to operate. So
Great. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, sorry. I guess I'm saying, like, if you haven't watched some of those other classes, tutorials, your answer might be there. If you're still struggling, another place, maybe let's have a link in here, which is to our community. And if you go to community.mindstudio.ai, here you go. I'll post it in chat. You can ask questions there, and either we or other community members can help you answer those questions. There's actually many people that are certified Mind Studio builders. I've seen some on this call here, in fact. And so there are lots of people that can help you get your stuff done.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Uh-huh.
Thanks, Devin. And I actually invite everybody to join community.mindstudio.ai. Really great resource. A lot of questions that you probably already have been answered. So you can find them on there. And if you do have questions that we haven't tackled, post them on there. We always love to learn how folks are using Mind Studio in new and different ways. So really great resource. We are past the hour mark. I think Dmitry and I will stick around a little bit longer in case there's any questions, but in case you do have to drop to another meeting, especially this audience, go-to-market people, biz dev people, back-to-backs all day long, different clients, I will say thank you so much for joining us. Couple things you can do after this session if you want to keep using these agents or customize them for yourself. Again, sign up at mindstudio.ai, download the Chrome extension. All of these agents that we've shown, or most of them that we've shown, all the BD ones I've shown were free. Deep research is a very minimal cost as well. So you can access them there. You can also join our community again, community.mindstudio.ai. And on all of these places, you'll be able to find our socials to follow along with us and the new things that we release, the new agents we release, new platform features we release. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll again stick around for a few more minutes in case there's any other questions, but thanks everybody for all the great engagement and all the great support.
Thanks, Dannielle.
Any other questions, folks? You can raise your hand at the bottom of the screen. There's a heart. It says react if you're on the latest version of Zoom. And then if you click onto it, there's a button that says raise hand. And then that'll put you at the top of the queue. We'll give it a couple moments of awkward silence just in case anyone's shy. Awesome. Okay, Christian, go ahead.
Christian, you're up. You're muted, though.
Just said unmute. Hey, thanks a lot for doing this. Dmitry, just was wondering if I could ask you, when you talk about this in your Mind Studio for small teams to you, how does this empower small teams, founders, startups, people like myself? What are you excited about?
Yeah, great question. Again, I'll point you, I shared a link in the chat to a bunch of masterclasses. I recently did one for a group of students at Stanford where I talked specifically about sort of the completely changed dynamics of building companies. This is my third venture-backed company as a founder. Spent now 19 years of my life building startups, raised over $140 million in venture capital. And so specifically where there's like huge impact is in these like early formative stages of companies, like what one person can do or a small group of people can do has now changed dramatically. Like it used to be that like getting, you've got an idea, you want to bring that idea to market, you want to get in the hands of early users, you might want to build a prototype or build an MVP. All of that required, technical co-founders and a whole bunch of effort and, months of time. And typically like you'd need to raise some seed capital to be able to do it. Well, all of that's been sort of thrown on its side, where now, you know, any individual with just an idea and desire and investment of some personal time can do that, can stand up a product, get it in the hands of users, and do that. So that's one fundamental thing that's changed. If you already have a small team of, meaning where you don't need a team in a sense at these early phases to get things started. That's super unique. That's never really existed before in building at least, you know, software products. Meaning super technical people could do it, but most people aren't super technical, and so this wasn't an option. So that's one. Another one is like the ability for a small team of people of like, what can you actually get done, right? And everything's been a function of like, how fast can you think and how quick can you type and talk, right? Like we were sort of blocked by that. There's like so many hours in a day. Well, now, because we can build these things that are automations or these like powered tools for ourselves that like let us push a button and do what used to take us, you know, 5 minutes or an hour or 10 hours to do, now we can just put that into a button. Well, wow. So like the yield of a small team is now, you know, like an order of magnitude, you know, 10 times or even more, you know, higher, more productive. And so like there's, again, sort of profound implications in that. The ability to have what I generally, again, kind of call superpowers of like insight, like to be able to, for example, if you're in whatever, some industry, and you want to be able to understand where the opportunities are, where the industry is going. Well, that requires a lot of like time and attention of you sort of like going through social media or searching the web or monitoring Google Trends or like whatever, like to pay attention to how the world is changing. And that's super valuable because you can find opportunities, and if you can grab them quickly, you've got an unfair advantage. That's awesome. But again, that's all absurdly time consuming. Well, now you don't have to spend your time doing that. You can just make agents that spend their time doing that, watching all of that. And when situations arise that are an opportunity for you, and you kind of like built them and set them and forget them. But like when an opportunity arises, well, your agent sort of like knocks on your door, sends you a Slack message, email, whatever, says, look, opportunity, and you can go and grab that. And so again, like this it's hard to put into words what that means. Again, like what you can do with things like that. You know, again, kind of the only word that comes to mind is like profound. Like it really sets you back once you understand that like this is now a matter of like your own creativity of like understanding what kind of tools you want to build, and that's it, kind of, because like building the tools has become democratized. And so now it's like, okay, what tool do I want? By the way, this is why Dannielle is awesome, because not only can she build the tools, obviously, but she knows exactly what tools she needs. And like, so like watching her, you know, do her craft is like, it's like watching a superhero. I've got no other word for it. Like no mere mortal could possibly compete. Exclamation point. And so that's the opportunity for everyone. So that's one. Another one, obviously, is like more and more people are coming to us and saying, look, I want to make this into a business. Like I want to make money doing this. And again, I recently did a class, you can find it on YouTube, specifically talking about that, of like how to make money with AI agents. That too is like super crazy. Like all the money is flowing because of this ROI ability. All the money is flowing in every company into this AI digital transformation. So every company has a need for people helping them to implement AI solutions that help them be more autonomous and more productive and more competitive. So that's one. Or the ability for, again, for enterprising people to build their own single or suite of AI agents and launch basically a SaaS company. So like 2 days ago, I posted again, I set a video of like, how do you build these agents and put them behind the paywall and charge people monthly subscription to do it? You can do that in like less than an hour. And so in less than an hour, you can launch a SaaS company. Like, what the hell does that even mean? Like that accepts payments and provides this like insane service. Well, that, you know, that's a brave new world we're living in. And so like creativity and opportunity, is kind of all you need. Opportunity is there, creativity you got, go get them. I don't know what else to do. I have 5 kids, by the way, and so I'm always thinking about like what are they're young, like what are they going to do? My son's now 11 years old, and like he asks me as a total nerd, and like he asks me like, well, what should I study like when I go to college? And I'm like, I have no idea. You should study whatever it is you're interested in, but it's not like a vocation.
Robotics.
Yeah, because well, the only you don't need to study that in college though. Like you can learn that now, you know.
Yeah.
And but if I had to pick one that's obviously like, what is there going to be a call for? Well, there's going to be a call from now on for people who can build AI powered things, AI powered robots, AI powered information technology applications, automations. Like that's obviously the skill set. It's not like learn to code. It's not go get an MBA. It's not any of those things. It's like, can you build these things that scale? And you don't need to go to college to do that. Although yesterday I spoke to our 3rd cohort, so Mind Studio is being taught at Harvard Business School. So I spoke with Harvard a couple of weeks ago, spoke at Stanford. I'm actually teaching a 3-week course in Stanford Extension starting June 9th. So like more and more universities are starting to focus on these skills. But that's obviously the thing to do. And again, all of you guys are here at the very early stages of this. I started building websites in 1995. I used to walk around, knock on doors physically, and ask people if they would let me build them a website free of charge. And I'd charge them $30 a month to host it. That's what I was doing as a side hustle in 1995. And at that time, it was like insane opportunity to build websites. Now, not so much. Everybody builds websites, and everybody knows how to build a website. But it's the exact same thing now to build these AI applications. Everybody needs them. Every single company, every company that all of your friends work for has a need, probably has a budget. If you can show up and say, I do this, they'll chain you up to the CEO and won't let you leave, because this is like the most needed thing that they have now. They're also feeling a tremendous amount of like FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, but for good reason. If they don't get this thing done, whoever does get it done wins. As I said, there is no way for mere mortals to compete with AI-driven automation.
Just don't be last.
Right. It's like the bear thing, right? You don't have to be the fastest. You just need to be faster than the next guy. But like that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much. As someone who's never been to Silicon Valley but has a lot of ideas, and AI is a crazy landscape for an idea person. But I just wanted to reach out and try to get a candid response from you. And wow, you over delivered. So thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are at the end of your time here.
No worries. Yeah, thanks. So again, we're happy to stick around and answer questions. Thanks for asking, Christian. Okay. Anybody else? And again, if you're shy, or if you're like, listen, I'm not sure what the question is yet, no worries. Find us on LinkedIn. Please feel free and add us. Find us in our community.mindstudio.ai. You can find us on YouTube. We do different types of classes, I think every week now, sometimes multiple times a week. So please feel free and attend those. Like some people have attended all of them. And just again, start playing around. I guess my main advice to you is don't wait. Now's the time. You've got the opportunity. Now's the time. Go do it. You can do it. There's nothing hard about this. Okay? Really nothing hard about this. So you can do it. And again, what do you do? Well, if you're inside of a company, well, you get to advance in your career. Start showing off to your boss and all their bosses of like, look at what I have built for our company. I did it, in my spare time last weekend or last night. I built this for our company, for myself, for my teammates. There's no better way to get noticed and get promoted than that. we've seen that. Like we know people who've gotten promoted out of HR, out of engineering, who are now like leading the AI initiatives in their companies. It's like you can become, in a sense, the chief AI officer if that's the goal. Now's the opportunity. Nobody's more qualified than you. Meaning, like, if unless they can do it, they're not qualified. You can do it. Qualified, go do it. So that's one. Again, if you're looking for a new career or looking to find a job, I don't know what else to recommend than to do this. So anyway, hopefully you guys are inspired that you can do it and go start doing it. And we're here to help. Okay, I see Christian. Do you have another question, or is that? Oh, okay, so Christian's good. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming. Again, you can always reach us, so don't worry about it. If you come up with a question a couple of minutes from now, please feel free and reach out. Thanks for being here, Dannielle. Thanks for rocking it. Always love seeing you do your work.
Thanks, everybody. Lots of you have already connected with me, and I can say very few did not have very few were blank connection requests. So you're already putting this info to work. So thanks for that,
Amazing.
everyone.
All right,
Take
guys,
care.
be well. Yep, take care.
Bye.